Alright guys, we're in the garage right now. We're about to feed all my fish. I'm gonna show you what I feed all different kinds of fish. But let me show you something cool real quick. Alright guys, check this out. Putting some food in it. Look at him come up. You ever seen a swarm like that? Now if you listen, you hear all that smacking sound? That's the fish eating. They're going crazy. The ones in this other tank, they're kind of jealous. Look at them go. These are jewel cichlids. They get about 4 to 5 inches. They get fire red, very deep red. Beautiful fish. But they are very aggressive. And I'm actually gonna sell them off to a local store probably at the end of this week. I really enjoyed my time with them, but it's time for them to go to a new home. All right guys, well it's time to feed every single one of the fish tanks that I have in my garage here. So let's get started. All right guys, what we're looking at is everything I feed my fish. We feed them some flakes, just your standard big box flake here. And we also feed some pellets. These are more cichlid type pellets, a bigger type pellet for mainly bigger fish, but other smaller fish will eat them as well. And then I have bug bites. This is a 3D printed container that I 3D printed myself. But in here we have bug bites mixed with North Finn's Bug Pro food. So it's made out of like insect larvae. Really good. Fish love that. And then I also have, this is not flakes, I just use in the container. This is actually mysis shrimp. And so we got some freeze-dried shrimp in here that we will use. And then we have some Daphnia, and we also have brine shrimp. Oh, they absolutely love brine shrimp. And we're gonna use a little bit of Infusoria today. And last but not least, we're gonna use some frozen bloodworm. Let me show you how I feed all of these tanks and all these fish really quickly. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is fill up a jar with some dechlorinated tap water. I fill it up about 75% of the way, and then we're gonna get to mixing. So we're gonna pull out our pellets, feed a little bit in here, a little bit of pellets. We're gonna punch in some frozen bloodworms. So let's go ahead and put some of these in. 3 cubes should work. Do some mysis shrimp. Dose a good bit of those in there. Then some bug bites and North Finn food. Just a little bit of you. There we go. Love it. And then sprinkle in some Daphnia, if we have any. We're out of Daphnia. All right, no Daphnia today. We are gonna do the freeze-dried shrimp. They love these cubes, absolutely love them. Crush it up like this. This is about 5 cubes. Give it a good crush. Oh, that looks delicious. Now let's go ahead and pour in some Infusoria. Mix in with spirulina powder a little bit. And did we forget the flakes? I think we forgot the standard flake. Alright, let's put in some flakes in there because I don't think we put any. So this is just regular tropical cichlid flakes. I like the cichlid flakes better because they're normally a little bit thinner and they don't dirty up the water as easily. Now once we got all this in there, we use our turkey baster and we just stir it up for a little bit. Oh, does that not look delicious? Let me get it underneath the light for you. Oh, it's looking good. All right, here we are in front of the angel tank. So in here we got some beautiful angels. We got some gold angels. We got some marbled angels. Also back there in the back, you can see we have some Lotacaras. These are the happy cichlids. They're kind of rare in the US. You don't see them too often, but really cool dwarf cichlid. They get about 4 inches, but really cool fish. Let's go ahead and feed them. All right, we got our lovely food. Let's go ahead and put some in. Oh, the angels are ready. Look at them going to town. Tons of good food for you guys. Let's do a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Oh, we can see we also have an electric gold ram in there. We get 2 of them in there. I think they may be male, female, but I'm not 100% sure. We can see the Lotacaras coming out. Now, if we stand still for long enough, they'll slowly come out, and they're actually pretty greedy. They'll steal food from the angels and each other. So it's fun watching watching them eat. The angels are there just picking at everything floating around. Angels are so majestic and they're so friendly. Like, I didn't see what the big deal with angelfish were, but soon as I got some, like, I fell in love with them. Not because of the way they look, even though they look stunning, but mainly because they're just out in the open. They're not hiding, right? Every time you walk by the tank, they swarm up and want you to feed them. Really love these angels. Cool fish. We also have some plecos in here. They normally hide underneath that sponge filter. But yeah, just a few different fish in this one. All right, right below the 40-gallon, we have a row of tanks down here. We just fed this tank. Let's feed the second one. Now down here, what we have more jewel cichlids, but we also have banjo catfish in there. Now banjo catfish, they're pretty cool. Let's get a close-up. All right, so down in this tank, we do have about 15 jewel cichlids. These are the baby jewel cichlids. But in addition, we also have little banjo catfish. Now they're great at hiding. They look just like the leaves that I have scattered down there. So we may not be able to see them, but let's go ahead and feed them. So let me stir up the mixture real good. And there we go. Get a little bit more. There we go. Now they're all going to eat. I love it. Look at that little guy eating down there. Gosh, this is probably my favorite part about fish keeping, just watching these little guys eat. Now this next tank here, this is actually my Gardneri killifish tank. If we look here, this is the male killifish. Beautiful fish. We also have a female in here. She's swimming. Oh, she's right over there behind the green mop. Really cool fish. They lay eggs all the time in that spawning mop. Let's go ahead and feed them a little bit. Just 2 fish in there, so not gonna feed a ton. I think they're coming. I think the male's coming right now. Yep, he's chomping down on some of the food. The female's thinking about it. She's in the back still. But this is just a really good looking fish. Really growing on me. Like, I didn't know what to think about killifish at first, but they're a really cool fish. Especially the Gardneri like we have here. All right, down here at the very bottom, we have some really cool fish. Right here, we got a beautiful plakat beta. So this was bred by someone that just lives a couple of hours from me. I bought about 6 or 7 of their plakat betas. I'm pretty sure this one's a male. Absolutely stunning. There's only the single fish in here right now. So let's feed him. I'm pretty sure it's a him. We'll just feed a little bit since it's just you, little fella. And he's gonna be chowing away. Look, he's all the way at the top. Beautiful looking fish. All right, in this next tank, we have a pair of Hungsloi apistogrammas. So I have a male and a female pair in here. The male is ready to breed. He's been doing breeding behavior for the past few days. The female just isn't feeling it yet. So I think I'm gonna feed them right now. Make sure there's some bloodworms in there so that they can really get to eating. Oh, here's the male. Yep, look at him, he was hungry. They love the bloodworms. Look how beautiful this fish is, guys. This is the male, the female's all the way in the back. Hopefully she comes forward. But look, good looking fish. I'm falling in love with the apistogrammas, guys, I really am. All right, let's see if we get a close up on the female. The female's all the way in the back. Hard to get a visual on her, but she's back there doing her thing. And this is their setup, guys. Hopefully we get some spawning action this week, I'm hoping. All right, in this next tank here, this is actually my killifish colony in here. We have clown killies. Oh, you can see one right here. And then we also have dwarf crayfish. We have the marble dwarf crayfish. Here's a male up top. Oh, they got a ton of food in there. Probably too much food. I probably have about 10 to 12 clown killies, and I probably have about 10 dwarf crayfish in here. And they've been living pretty happily, and they're breeding left and right too. We already have some clown killifish babies. I actually grew them out in a fry hatch-out system, and then I just put them in here yesterday, and so they're small, but they're big enough not to get eaten. Here's a female down here. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. They're so tiny, the camera has a hard time focusing. But this is a female. So the female is a little bit chunkier, and they don't have as big as and flashy tail like the male. Oh, here's a male. So the male, a little bit slender, but the tail is what's the giveaway. The tail is just colorful, it's longer, good looking fish. Look at his blue eyes. Great for a nano tank because they stay really small. Oh guys, my pistogrammas, the Hongzhou pistogrammas are coming back. Look, 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 look. The male is ready to breed. He's ready to have a family. He's like, I want to settle down. Let's settle down and have some kids. But the female is like, nah, I'm not feeling it quite yet. Let's just take a look. Oh, here he goes, here he goes. He's gonna do a shake. Let's see if he does it. Nah, he's eating. He's like, maybe in a minute. Let me pick up these bloodworms. But a really good looking fish. Oh, here you go, here you go. Here you go, he's gonna shake. Well, he doesn't want to do it on camera, does he? But this is what the pair looks like, and I think they're gonna breed any day. I really do think so. All right, on our second rack, we have another 40-gallon. In here, we have 5 South American puffers. We have some swordtails. We have some carbensis. So a few different fish are living in here. You can see they're using the coconut hides that I created. So really cheap way to make some decor is by buying coconuts from your grocery store. They cost $2, and each coconut makes 2 houses. So I have like, I don't know, 8 of them. There's 3 in this tank, and little cave dwelling fish love these coconut hides. But let's go ahead and feed these guys. Now, I do have South American puffers in here, and I normally like to feed some snails. And so once I'm done feeding here, and in about an hour or so, there will be, all the snails will come out and eat the food wherever I dropped it. And so all I do is snatch up those snails and I put them in this tank. But the South American puffers do love the bloodworms. Like, they will eat some bloodworms. Let's get a little bit closer. So here's a little guy right here. So adorable. Oh, he's looking for something to eat. He sees it. Oh, here's one that came up close. Look at him. He's just so cute. These guys are adorable. Look at him go. He's like, where's the rest of my food? Now, they don't really eat flake food too much. I'm trying to give it to them every day to see if I can convert them over, but that's probably not gonna happen. They love snails, they love bloodworms, they love blackworms, they love little shrimp, so they prefer live or frozen food, but they'll definitely peck at... Oh, he just ate a bloodworm, I saw it! He just slurped it down. The other ones were like, where'd you get that from? Gosh. These guys are so cool. They get about 3 to 4 inches, so not terribly huge. And they're on the friendlier side for puffers. Now, they're still mean because they're puffer fish, but they're more friendly than most of your puffers that you see. And they're completely freshwater. That's what I like about them. All right below the 40-gallon, we have this 20-gallon long, and in here we have 2 beautiful German black rams. Now, I've been breeding these. I got tons of babies growing out from these guys. We got 1 female and 1 male. The male is down there at the bottom. The female is up top. So they spawn about every week to every other week. Like, they spawn pretty regularly. So let's go ahead and feed them. There we go. Oh, they're coming. Oh, he's chowing down. I'll probably just put the 1 squirt since there's just the 2 fish in here. But they love bloodworms. They love brine shrimp. They love all of that. Look at this little fella. Now, this is a male. Is he not just gorgeous? And then the female looks really good as well. The female actually has more of the blue spangling in her. And so I kind of like the way the females look just because they have a little bit more color in them. But the male is just, you can tell it's a male. He's bigger, you know, he flares his fins a little bit more. The little dorsal fin, the first couple spikes are just spiking up. Really good looking fish. And I can't wait to see all the babies grow up. All right, in this next tank right next to the German black rams, we have just a single betta fish. Oh, you can see him all in over here. We used to have some corridoras in here, but we've sold those. Everything in the garage is for sale. I have it listed on my website. So I do fish leave and fish come in pretty frequently. So I'm gonna put a little bit of food in for the betta. And I do have a couple nerite snails in here as well, so there'll be a little bit for them too. Let's see if the betta will come close. Oh, there you go. I think this one's a he. I think it's a male. Yeah, he's chowing at. It could be a she. These are all plakat betas, so they're short finned. Even the males have short fins. Short fin betas are my favorite type of beta. Now the fancy flowing fins, that's really cool, and if you like that, that's really cool. But I like the short fin varieties of most fish, especially on the betas. This one's looking really good. All right, so here's rack number 3. We got a few different fish tanks with a few different fish. Let's go ahead and feed these guys. So up top in the right hand corner, we got a ton of guppies and endlers. Now, there are an absolute ton of them. They know they're gonna get fed, so they're all swarming up to the front. Love these fish, so many different colors, so active, and just a fun, easy fish to have. So let's go ahead and feed them. There's a little bit of food for you. Probably do a little bit more food for you. Oh, look at him go. Gosh, so many of them. Now, I'm gonna put these guppy endlers on the website for sale, probably for like $1 a fish, just super cheap, and I'll just scoop them out. I haven't done that yet, but that's coming soon, because not only do we have this tank with guppies, but down here at the very bottom, down all the way, we got a ton of guppies, so once we get to that tank, you'll see that as well. But look at them, they're all chowing down, just going blazing fast. All different sizes living together. I love it. Now, this next tank, this is the shrimp tank. So in here we got 100 red lily shrimp. These are Neocaridina shrimp that we see swimming around. In addition to that, you see all these little worms. These are black worms. So I'm culturing black worms in like 4 different tanks. This is one of the tanks, and they're doing very well with the shrimp so far, which I'm kind of glad of. I do culture. I do take these black worms out from time to time and feed them to my fish. But yeah, they're also great at breaking down food and waste. They're actually really good at that. So if you have decaying food or decaying fish, these little worms will eat it up, which is really nice. So they're another layer of cleanup crew in addition to the shrimp here. But we just got a ton of red lily shrimp. Let's go ahead and feed them. So every time you hear people talk about shrimp, you always get warned not to overfeed them and only feed in a certain area. And I disagree with that so much. I feed my shrimp every single day, and I feed them a ton. Now, if I come in here tomorrow and there's still food at the bottom, then I don't feed them. But my rule is I feed them every single day, unless I see food still laying around at the bottom. And if there's no food, yeah, you better believe they're gonna get fed. And their population has been exploding. I sell tons and tons and tons of these every week, just about. But I love these little red lily shrimp. Oh, here's one. We'll see if we can get a close-up of this little guy. And they love this. They love this algae. This is just hair algae, so it's good to have, some lobster tank or Java moss in there. But heck, you can go cheap and just, scrounge up some hair algae, and they love it. All right, so this next tank, this is just a random assortment of fish. I gotta probably move things around. This used to house a few different apistogrammas, but now it just has swordtails and a single beta in here. So let's go ahead and feed these fishies. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're chowing down for sure. The swordtails are so active. And then the beta is so colorful. I'm pretty sure this is a female. I could be wrong, but I think that's a female beta. And I think we got one lone guppy. Somehow that guppy ended up in here. I need to move him back with all his other friends. but they're just living life in here. So soon, all these fish are gonna be moved and we'll have another project, breeding project in this one. Not sure yet. Maybe baddies, maybe epistogrammas, maybe rams, I don't know. We'll figure it out though. All right, so down in here is where the magic happens. We only have a few guppies down here, but we do have a toddler of a German black ram. My very first successful German black ram baby that I've ever, I guess, tried to raise. He's swimming down here. As soon as I get an eye on him, I'll bring the camera down and we'll take a look. Oh, there he is. All right, let's get a little bit closer. Let's see. Oh, he's coming up front too. All right, so here he is all the way down there. He's a good looking, just a little bitty baby right now. But yeah, this is a German black ram. Their parents were the ones I showed you earlier. Let me see if I can get rid of the glare. But there he is. Really good looking fish. Love this guy. But up here, what we have is the fry system. So this was modeled off of Dean's fry system. And it works well, so I went ahead and copied it. But essentially we have deli containers with a hole cut into it and a sponge fitted in. And then we have a water pump there at the bottom, pumping water up and over, and the airline tubing dripping water in. So there's continuous new water coming in, and then water overflows through this hole, but the sponge prevents any of the babies from falling out. So in here we have German black ram babies. I think we have albino ones. I'll show you if they come out. And then over here we had killifish, or the clown killies, but I just moved them because they were big enough into the main tank. So we're actually going to put more German black ram babies in here today. I'm going to get that on video for you guys. And then over here we have Gardnerite killifish babies. We got a ton in here, maybe about 20, 25. The water's looking good. But we're gonna feed these guys real quick. Now I feed the baby fish a ton of different things, but today we're gonna be using this fry powder. And all it is just a really protein dense powder that they'll be able to eat because it's just so tiny and they have tiny mouths. So let's go ahead and feed some. Gonna put a bit in here, see if I see any of the German black rams. I don't see them. They were hanging out. Oh, there is one. All right, so there's one right there at the corner. Little tiny, about the size of a grain of rice, and it's white, so it's albino. Normally at this size, they'll be black, but you can see the little white speck right above my finger. That is a tiny German black ram, but it appears to be albino. And oh, there's another one behind him, 2 albinos. Like, we have a whole bunch of albino ones in here. I think the whole batch was all albino. It's strange. But it's kind of cool. I'm gonna be excited to see what they look like as adults. But let's go ahead and feed them. So we just kind of toss it in there. We can be a little heavy-handed, that's okay. There we go. Makes it all cloudy, but they love to eat it. Let's go feed a little bit to the Gardnerite killifish. These ones we're not going to be able to see because there's just a cake of duckweed up top. But that also makes them feel more comfortable, makes the water a little bit more healthy. So we'll leave it there. The little babies in there. All right, in this next tank, this has cherry shrimp in here, and it also is another tank of my blackworm culture. But more importantly, this is where I hatch out all the baby eggs. So in here we had German black ram eggs that hatched. They were in the wiggler phase for a few days now. So we're gonna take them out and we're gonna give you a close-up. All right, so here we are. All the babies are kind of huddled up down here. Let me get zoomed in. And it's not really picking them up because they're so tiny. But there's a ton of little babies down here. And now they're kind of wiggling once I moved them around. But these guys have been in the wiggler phase for a few few days now. So we're actually going to take all of them that are here and dump them into their fry tray for them to grow out. So let's go ahead and do that now. So in here, they're gonna have a lot better water, and they're gonna be able to grow out a lot quicker too. Let me go ahead and pull this leaf out first. Put that leaf in there. I think they like that. All right, they should all be in there. I'm just gonna check this tray here just to make sure. Put a little bit of water in there, swish it around. Don't want to leave any babies left. So it looks like I got them all, but just in case. Oh guys, I looked up and all of the black worms are starting to come out. We have a good bit, more than I thought. The colony's definitely growing, which is good because this is a great snack for all my fish. And then look at all the red rillies back there. A ton of red rillies. I love it. Now at the very bottom we have 2 tanks. We got a small 5-gallon tank. This has black worms in it as well, growing out. And then in here we got a bazillion guppies, but we also have a good bit of Bolivian rams in here. Pour a little bit in there. There we go. Giant cloud. Look at him go into town. Oh, I love it. So many guppy Endler babies in here, and a good bit of Bolivian rams. Now I grew these Bolivian rams, I raised them myself, and so they're actually available on the website now, but gosh, look at them. They're just such a good looking dwarf cichlid. And they're so intelligent, they're not terribly aggressive, they are territorial, but they're looking really good. All right, now we have the inside tanks. This is my 20-gallon log. I love this tank. We have Soreyu stone, Java fern, we got cryptocorn, dwarf hairgrass, and we got a ton of fish. If you look right here, here's a hillstream loach. Really cool fish, but we got a ton of different kinds of tetras, kui loaches, pygmy corydoras. Guys, you wanna see something cool? You ever seen a bamboo shrimp upside down? That little guy right there, that's a bamboo shrimp. He's huge. And what they do, they like the current because they are filter feeders. And so they have little hands that look like fans, and they capture any particles in those fans, and then they just bring it to their mouth and eat it. And that's how they eat. It's really cool to watch them eat. And they're huge. They're like this big. They're the biggest thing in here. Because most of these fish in here are all nano fish. But let's go ahead and feed them. Feed them just a little bit. There is a glare. Try to cover that. The guppies and endlers are coming in. Oh, here comes all the tetras. They're coming in too. I would love these little nano fish. So many different colors. So active. We also have a few freshwater gobies in here. As you can see, this is the Chinese vermilion goby. This is a really cool goby. He's a micro predator. So he eats baby shrimplets. He eats baby guppies. Anything tiny, he's gonna eat. But he'll also eat flake food as well. Cool little goby. Up next is our shallow 5-gallon. This has a beautiful beta in there, has a single rice fish, and then a school of chili rasboras. Chilies are absolutely tiny. We're gonna go ahead and feed these guys a little bit too. Just a few drops though, because these are tiny fish. That's probably good for now. We'll let them munch away at that. Oh, let's see if we can get a little bit closer. So here's the chili rasboras. Oh, the beta's coming out too. They're hungry. Oh, chili rasboras are so tiny, really cool, brightly colored fish, and they're great for nano tanks. And they get along pretty well with my beta too. Let's lower the camera down a little bit. There we go. Look at the little fella. And then we do have a single rice fish here. This is a Galaxy Medaka rice fish. He's a little deformed, so this is one that I'm keeping, and he looks pretty good. Beautiful looking beta though. And I'm in love with this scape. It's really simple. It's just dwarf hairgrass, and then So only one type of plant in there. And then it has 2 Sorayu stones just sticking out of the water. Looks amazing. And then some vines, some pothos, and whatever this plant is. I think it looks really, really good. I love the way this tank turned out. Up next is our biggest tank. This is a 75-gallon fish tank. It's a 4-foot fish tank, and we have a ton of fish. We have tiger barbs, we have green barbs, we have pandagoras down there. We have a good-looking angel. We have some swordtails. We have electric blue acara, serpent tetras, Congo tetras, yellow convicts. A lot of cool fish. Let's go ahead and feed them. Oh, they're munching now. Oh, there they go. There they go. There's the swarm. Now they're going after it. I love tiger barbs because they are ferocious eaters and they're just fun to watch, and they're pretty colorful. Now, they can be kind of feisty. In a larger school like this, they're not so feisty, which is good, so they don't bother any of the other fish. But sometimes when you have them in a smaller school, they do kind of nip fins, but they do a-okay so far. All right, lastly, we have the jungle wall. We're gonna feed each of these tanks. Most of these are just shrimp tanks. This one here is a shrimp tank. This one's a shrimp tank, another shrimp tank. This is actually a no filter, never had a water change before tank. And it has like, 5, 6 cherry shrimp in there. Really cool setup. I really like this build. Oh, and then we have our beta. Let's go ahead and feed her. So this is my Bacopa forest, and it has a single beta in here, and it's just covered with algae. I gotta go in here and rescape it. I gotta redo this tank. But that's a project for another day. Let's feed him a little bit. There you go. Let's see if we can get a close-up. I think this is a she. Oh yeah, she's enjoying some of the mysis shrimp, it looks like. And this is a good-looking koi beta. This is another plakat beta. I got this from a breeder just a couple hours away. Some beautiful betas he has. Look at this little, so interesting, so much personality. All right, guys, and that's what I feed my fish. That's in about 30+ fish tanks. Just a modge podge of different foods all mashed together. They get the variety, and it kind of tailors to individual fish who may be a little bit more picky, but they love this food. And it's really easy to feed that way. You just mix it up in a jar, and then you have one thing that you kind of just pour in all the different tanks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.